Hello. It's the Collegiate Chess League Fall 2025 season, week 2, starting now. We've got Michigan versus Yale in Division 3, followed by a Division 1 matchup between Mizzou and Texas Tech. What's up, Brody? What's up, Baby Yoda Chess? Hello, Chess Jawa. Thank you for the sub. 41 months, Founders Badge. Unbelievable. Former CCL player from U Chicago tuning in. Let us know who you're rooting for. My name's Joe. I run the league. I went to UCLA and played on their Pan Am's. No, I didn't play on Pan Am's. I played on their U.S. Amateur Team West team. So, former collegiate chess player myself. Anyways, we've got some exciting matches here. Yale's actually playing their first time this season on this broadcast. They were supposed to play last week, but they rescheduled it to tomorrow, actually. So looking forward to that. I believe they were supposed to play Wisconsin-Madison. And University of Michigan, this is also their first match because last week they were gifted a forfeit win against Purdue. So I'm going to have to talk to Purdue and see what's up there. So both these teams are hungry to play some college chess. Anyways, we should have some games about to start, perhaps, hopefully. Let me see. Let me see if I can show you guys something. Ah, yes. I can see the games. Here we go. Looks like I'm... Is this a good mic or is this a bad mic? I think it's the bad mic. Hold on 1 second, you guys. This happened to me last week. How's this? This should be better. My apologies. All right. We've got Neil versus Ashvin. So, Ashvin, top board from Yale. Yale used to be in D1. They had two grandmasters playing last year. I know Nicholas Cheka graduated. So, I don't know what happened to their second GM, who I keep forgetting their name. Is it Arthur Guo? Maybe Chess Jawa knows. Shout out to Patrick Majero and Bala. We got Dan the Chessman, Robin. Lots of great people. Arthur Guo went to your high school. Very cool. So why isn't he playing? That's my question. Anyways. Why is my board seemingly weird? Great question. It doesn't matter. Or does it? Whoops. I feel like my OBS is being weird. What's going on, dude? I can't edit this. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Ah, here we go. Oh, dude. I shouldn't have touched anything. Oh my goodness. I don't know what just happened. Oh my god. I messed up everything. You guys, I'm so sorry. Okay. I'm not touching anything anymore. This is what we're gonna live with. I tried moving the board because it doesn't look right to me, but okay. I'm gonna ignore it and we're gonna just focus on the chess, which I should have been doing. So we've got 4 games underway. It looks like Neil has a good position with white here against Ashvin, although the computer doesn't like how he's just played. So he kind of gives this knight a free tempo here. Maybe he could have gone somewhere over here instead. So now the queen should go back. The queen's gonna move again, so goes here. Ashvin, about a minute advantage on the clock, a little bit more than that, which is nice. Yeah, I'm liking the structure. This knight is pretty locked in. That's an outpost square, so not going to be easy to get rid of this knight. So I think black has an easier time of expanding their pawn structure. White has this 2-on-1 in the center, but it's very difficult to push this pawn. If this pawn pushes, maybe we'll lose this pawn. So I don't know if there's a clear plan for white. I feel like this queen is a little misplaced, and yeah, Neil's just using way more time, so it's gonna be a bit of a scramble here. All right, rook to the center. Yeah, black now is expanding this capture here. This rook is opened up. Yeah, computer does not like this. I'm trying to think if there's a way that we can take advantage of this situation. The computer like g4 actually. Knight back. And then what? Or did not like that. I don't know. F5 is interesting. All right, let's look at the other games. We have a huge development here. Henry Burton. Henry is actually the board 4 from Yale. And he's looking like he's crushing Derek Claspy from Michigan. So let's see how this happened. Derek Claspy, top board from UMich. Strong pawn center for white. And yeah, just e5 and f6 just looks so natural. e5. e5 should be played automatically. Let's be honest here, folks. I guess you're worried about your f-pawn, huh? Ah, the knight went home. If here, let's say rook f4. Yeah, where else could you go? Here and now d5. Huh. So that was missed. Knight b1 played. Bishop here, trying to get a skewer. Maybe even a fork. Okay, now e5 played. Queen c6 played. Queen f3, asking for a queen trade. I'm pretty worried about this, which is being played. This is a fork. That's the problem. So now bishop e2 needs to be played. Yeah. So winning exchange. So white had a very good position, but Derek is bringing it back. Derek, top board from Michigan. Very strong player. 2,700. Rook's doubled to recapture. Pawn takes, knight takes. F6 looks like a move. Let's check in on Raheel. Ooh, Raheel just blundered big time. Queen comes in, attacking everything. Takes. Surprised we don't take with... Oh, I guess blocks here then. Here, 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 and then... Oh, that's nice. Here instead? Wait, never mind. That's not nice. So here the move... Bishop takes h7. How does that work? King takes... Oh, because the rook is hanging. Wow. So that was a tactic missed. And yeah, it looks like black is just crashing through. Raheel from Yale, board 2, up against Kenneth Sue, the flashy Ferrari. What's up, Brody? That's game recognizing game right there in chat. 2 Illinois guys from the greater Chicago area. Anyways. Both players less than a minute on the clock. I haven't looked at this. I mean, black is winning on every board except for Derek Claspy from Michigan. What's happening here? Yeah, I mean, black is just up a pawn or up a piece. We have a result here. Raheel winning. Yeah, this game was over. So very nice. We've got Aiden. So let's see, Raheel won, right? So first point goes to Yale. Aditya winning this game. So the board 2's getting points for each team. Aditya answering things back. This is just a matter of conversion here. Less than 10 seconds for Neil. Black is going to try to simplify things. Hitting the rook. Hitting the bishop. Protecting the pawn. Keeping things closed. 5, 4. There's 2-second increment. That's a check. King's going to come back. Yeah, how do you simplify things? Bishop here. We can come back maybe. Rook over. Knight's going to swing around this way. Hitting the bishop. Hitting the pawn. Bishop saves the pawn. Rook's going to look to check us. Rook's going to stop that. There's a check here. Okay, the bishop's under attack. King defends. Maybe bishop here. That's an annoying check. Rook's going to come here now. King steps up. But now the bishop has to leave. Or I guess you could defend it. Or you could flag. So that was a point for Ashvin. Top board from Yale. Yale getting their 1 point lead back, 2-1. But we've got this last game here of round one. It's Rook and Bishop versus Rook and Rook, but a passed pawn, a deep passed pawn. Rook here. Wow, why was that not played? Okay, now it's played. So you got to give up the rook for the pawn, and you're going to lose this game. So maybe you could hope for a stalemate, but yeah. 1-0 and flag. Derek Claspy, top board from Michigan, keeping it tied 2-2. The top two boards taking down the bottom two boards in that round one. Round two will be very similar pairing. It'll be board one versus board three, board two versus board four. Hello, Oak Chess. All right, shall we do a prediction? The match is tied 2-2. The problem is I've got 3 Twitch chats open, so it's hard to do a prediction in all 3. So I'm only going to do the prediction in the one that I have, I think, if that's okay with all of you. All right, who do you guys think is going to win, Michigan or Yale? All right. We've got another game. Round 2 has started here. We've got a Karo Khan advanced. Yeah, here, do we not play this, I guess? Why? What is the point of this? Who knows? C3? C3, right? Or are they considering taking? I don't know. Neil Ghani, board 4 from Michigan. Only 2,099. They've found C3. Is it only for American colleges? Mathematic. No. The Collegiate Chess League has over 24 countries represented. Last season had over 30 countries, I believe. The biggest country outside of the U.S. represented is India. A lot of schools from Canada as well. Well, a lot of schools from Europe. Division 1 actually has a team from Ukraine. A lot of teams in Africa. A lot of teams in Asia. We have Singapore competing. We had China compete last year. We've got schools in Turkey, schools from Greece, from Italy that joined this season. So the Collegiate Chess League is international. It's open to any university, regardless of country. It is also completely free to join, and it gives out $50,000 in cash prizes. So registration is closed for this season, but there will be another season starting up again in January. All right, so I've started a prediction in my channel. So far, we have no betters, but people are waiting to see how these games go, probably in round 2. So far, it's tied up 2-2. The Wolverines and the Bulldogs, both great schools. This pawn, is it hanging? I guess not. The computer didn't like this move, though. Pawn push. Computer doesn't like that one either. We can go to E3 it likes. The key is you want to guard this C pawn, basically. Because you don't want to drop it after you... You don't want to allow the queen to escape, is what you don't want. But even if you don't trap the queen, you still get an active rook. This king is not going to castle, especially now that the second rook has moved. So the king's future is uncertain. White is looking to figure out how to continue their attack. Probably they'll go knight to h4 so they can get the f pawn rolling, would be my guess. Interestingly, now that the queen isn't here, there actually is queen takes b2 because you can get to c2, and from c2 you can seek shelter, seek refuge. Knight wasn't played there. This is the computer saying a miss. But yeah, I don't really like opening the b file for white. Rook b2 is played now, getting out of this knight attack. Knight hits the other knight. Knight is defended. If we trade, there's two different ways black could take with queen or pawn. Let's take a look at some of the other games. Let's check them out. We've got Aiden versus Derek. Derek, the board one from Michigan. White pushing the queen out of the center. Opposite side castles. I like White's open G file. I think that could be an advantage. This is looking like a tall pawn for sure. Some double pawns for both sides. But I think this pawn is going to be a liability, a weakness. And I think White should be able to push for an advantage here. This knight, not too impressive, but maybe can hop in at another point. But yeah, I'm liking this idea a lot for White. So Black's figuring out where they want to put their queen. And then White kind of has a game plan in mind. Let's check in with Henry and Aditya. So both sides castle kingside, fianchettoed bishops. And looks like Black starting up an attack on the queen side, starting up some trouble here. Looking to trade. Computer does not like this. Can we push or something? What's going on? No, just allowing this trade. Can I switch to Derek Caspi's game? Yeah, we were just looking at it. Let me make sure we see all the games, and then we'll switch over quickly. Just want to get a general update. Ashvin's looking good for Yale, and yeah, Neil's in a tough spot as well. So we were starting with this, but we've got some Derek Clasby fans. Shout out to Derek Clasby from University of Michigan. Looks like the queen putting an attack on the a2 pawn, so king b1, prophylactic move here. Just getting the king off of the c file, tucking the king more into the corner. Hey Ibshi, how's it going? You're saying Black's gonna put g6 and f5. If g6, maybe we just start with f5, or maybe we go. I would still just. I mean, even if they close the G file, we can go for the H file, you guys. All right, here, the computer is saying queen to f5 is a strong move, pinning the pawn. but pushing the pawn, keeping things closed, also very logical. And now this queen's actually maybe a bit out of the game. So here it really liked to move knight to g6, trying to get the piece involved. But yeah, here it even likes the move d5. d5, and maybe we're creating a passed pawn. But just c5 for white. Queen decides to come home. And now I think, yeah, queen f5, just immediately throwing a punch, but maybe there's going to be an attempt of a defense, although we can come over the h-file now. Yeah, I just think white has a much easier time getting to black's king. We do see this very strong move. The computer is saying just give up the h-pawn, but you can play queen to d7. If queen to d7, then I suspect the queen will come over to the h-file. So the computer actually prefers queen to e7, which I don't fully understand. Yeah, I think white's gonna be stirring up some trouble here. Aiden also getting down to 30 seconds on their clock. So Derek looking good in front of the fans. What's up, Deshgen? How's it going? All right, did anyone put any points on the prediction? All right, queen to d7. This is a very natural. Whoa, trading queens. What? Pushing through. Okay, we've got a connected pass pawn. If we want to play b4, maybe not super timely. Yeah, white said, "Hey, listen, I can go into this queenless endgame and just be good. I'm solid. I don't need anything else." But yeah, I mean, I would have left the queens on for sure, dude. For sure. I would have played queen h5. Queen h5 in a heartbeat. No one did, Deshen? That's okay. Maybe next time. All right, knight trying to blockade the pawn. Maybe gonna keep an eye over b4. You can't use them. I know the Netherlands won't allow people to gamble channel points, which is funny. Okay, rook putting slight pressure on the knight. I would play a3 here. Your country as well? Portugal? Or did you move? I don't know. Okay, pawn push. Just creating more and more weaknesses as the minutes go by. Maybe rook g1 is good, but maybe not. What else? I mean, you could just play b4. Yeah, king up makes a lot of sense. King up yet again. Rook stepping up. There's rook c4 check, so we play b3. King over. Rook up, making sure that king is cut off. Rook coming down, looking for a trade. Declining the trade. The rook's return. A mini rook lift. King stepping over. Rook comes in. Rook looking for the trade. Denied. Bishop stepping back. What's going on here? Pawn push with check. King takes. Discovery on the c5 pawn. And an attack on the rook. Black could be winning material here. Rook looking for a trade. Oh, and the king taking the knight. Honestly, I missed that too. I'm sorry, Aiden. Derek going for the knockout. You can take here with check if you wish. Also, just going here is super solid. Very, very sane decision. Taking with check. Pawn takes. Pawn push. Rook over. Looking to scoop back that pawn. You're going to get it. I would have considered rook f4, but f5 makes a lot of sense. Rook here. If the pawn pushes, we can check. This pawn's on the run. This pawn was hit. There's a check. That's a free pawn, but it's going to cost us a pawn actually. But then it's going to lose us another pawn. So white is up. That's actually a fork, but you can't really afford to take because this is a winning pawn endgame for white. So we have resignation. Derek Claspy looking good there. And that was actually the last game of the round. So let me update the scores. Derek improves to 2 out of 2. We've got Henry Burton actually getting a point on the board for Yale. They're board 4, taking down Aditya, the board 2 from Michigan. Ashvin, top board from Yale, also going 2 out of 2, beating Kenneth Sue. And we have Raheel actually losing to Neil. So the board 4 is coming up big for both Michigan and Yale. Let's check out that game, Raheel versus Neil. And let's see, last we looked, yeah, this was a Karo Khan where black looks like they didn't really have a plan for their king, but the king said, no fear, I'm going to come on over. And turns out it's actually white who's become weak. Look at this. Yeah, queen here looks like it's a fork. Computer doesn't like it actually. But yeah, up in exchange here. Both sides have connect 4. Queen coming over. Ooh, that is a huge blunder from Raheel to 2,500. Looking to trade queens, but forgetting about this check, a nasty check. Wow, and it's going to cost an exchange as well. That is absolutely brutal. Props to white for continuing to play on here. Maybe there's going to be a fortress, but it looks like, yeah, white, there's too many weaknesses. And we see resignation here. So great game from Neil coming back. Let's check in on the other games that we missed. Maybe on Henry's game, where Henry beat Aditya. So Henry, bottom board for Yale, 2,300. But taking on the board 2 from Michigan. And this looks like a Vienna game with both sides castling, fianchettoing. And where was the last time we left off here? Yeah, Henry traded that bishop, and we lose a pawn. Tripled up on the f-file. But everything seems to be pretty closed off here. Black's looking great. Yeah. I mean, this is... yeah, not even taking this. Oh, because it's defended, that's why. Check, king over. Oh my goodness. Knight takes. Kicking the knight away. This pawn's going to fall. That pawn's going to fall. That pawn falls. But yeah, here we're just down 3 pawns to nothing. So, lovely, lovely position for black, just converting that rook and pawn endgame. Yeah, Ibshi, you want to put a prediction in the other chat? That'd be nice if you want. Okay, so we looked at Derek Claspy's game, classic. We looked at the 2 board 4 games. Let's take a look at Ashvin versus Kenneth Sue. So Ashvin is the top board from Yale. Starting with the white pieces here, we have a d4 opening. Yep, castles. Black gives up the bishop for the knight. Knight attacking the bishop back. And we have a couple pawn pushes from white, expanding on the queen side. Taking in the center, looking for a queen trade. Here, big question mark move. And now g4, saying where do you want to put your knight? So this was a blunder. So white wins a knight, trades a pair of rooks, saves a rook, pins the rook, rook takes. Yeah, this is pretty brutal. Check and wins a piece, threatens mate, GG. So solid game there from Ashvin. Yeah, Deshchin lives in a country that doesn't allow Twitch gambling. Anyways, we should have round 3 starting any minute, or even any second now, perhaps. Ooh, Deshchin, VPN, workaround. That would be nice. All right, we've got games. Now, in rounds 3 and rounds 4, it's going to be the top boards versus the top boards and the bottom boards versus the bottom boards. It's still tied up 4-4. It's as even as it gets. It's a close match. If it's tied 8-8 at the end of 4 rounds, we'll go to 5 rounds. We'll do overtime. Why not? How many rounds? We've got 4 guaranteed. Okay, that game I'm not seeing start, so we'll watch this one then. Raheel versus Derek. We've got a lot of Derek fans anyways. So, Derek, top board from Umesh. The top Wolverine, their best player. I remember Michigan's best player used to be an international master by the name of Papa Pizza. Shout out to Papa Pizza. Any Papa Pizza fans out there? Only real Umesh fans will know. Also, fun fact, if there's still any Illinois players tuning in, they're big rivals with Michigan. They really, you know, they don't get along well. Am I playing viewers? No, I'm commentating a match between University of Michigan and Yale University. This is the Collegiate Chess League Fall 2025 season. This is week 2 of the regular season out of 7 total weeks. This is actually the first match that both of these teams have played this season because Michigan won against Purdue by forfeit and Yale rescheduled their first week match to tomorrow, which I might be back tomorrow to cover some more matches. I think I should. There's going to be an exciting one, I think, between Virginia and Lviv in Division 1. So that'll be exciting to watch them play. All right. So far, so good here. Derek with the white pieces. Looks like we've got all 4 games started. Yep. White's just threatening to win the bishop. although it'll help black develop it. So this is just a very strong knight in the center. Black has the bishop pair for now, but white could take it back at any moment. This bishop's not going anywhere. White controlling the center more with c3, taking away those squares from the knight, and probably looking at a d4 expansion at some point. Not quite ready just yet. Black has a very firm grip. So we have pawn push. This is potentially saving the bishop. So now might be the time for white to take. But this knight is so good, and maybe we don't want to help develop the queen. So to take or not to take, that is the question. If the queen steps up, trying to attack this weakened pawn, then the bishop can save itself and tuck back. Both sides, roughly 3.5 minutes. Derek Claspy might feel the pressure on their shoulders, knowing they're the top board from this team from Michigan. They've got a tough task ahead of themselves here. Yale, historically very strong team. So both in d3, yeah. Decided not to take, decided to attack the pawn. Bishop tucks back. This is more or less what black wanted, and it's costing white some time to figure this out. Whereas black just playing pretty quickly there, getting some easy, solid moves in. Let's take a look at this next board here. Ashvin versus Aditya. And it looks like we just had a big mistake here. So Ashvin with the black pieces. This is Yale's top board. We've got all these pawns in the center here attacking. Black looks ahead in development for sure. Takes, push, attacking the knight. Knight steps back. Pawn takes, and knight comes back. So why not taking this pawn? Isn't that the most obvious move? I guess not. Oh, there would have been this check and then a fork. So no, that was not a free pawn. And now it wants bishop takes h6. Bishop defending the pawn. So Aditya, board 2 from Michigan, maybe missing some key tactics here. If takes, we have queen to e3. Just attacking this pawn, and there's no way to defend it, truly. Here and now we have the move knight to h5. It's going to be mate. So that was a missed opportunity. Bishop e3 played. c5. And now again, we actually have the same idea, which is kind of crazy. But the dark squares are much under white's control after the move knight to h5. So if this king gets opened up, then these pieces can really start to shine in front of this king. That being said, bishop h6 wasn't played a move earlier, so it might not get played now. Instead, we have rook a to d1, another miss by the computer. Hates these moves. So we see one trade, we see two trades, knight hits the rook. Rook's going to have to move, it comes home. And yeah, everything is even Steven so far. Pawn push, computer hates this. And what it wants is the move f4 to play f5. Very logical, very smart. Just attacking that king. And there it goes. The pawn is in motion. And another thing to think about, we could always try to load up queen and bishop if this knight ever goes too far away. Pawn grab, a greedy pawn grab at that. Wow. Can black get away with it? The computer likes just b3, which almost makes too much sense. But the best move is knight to f5. Knight h to f5 specifically. I think we want to keep this g-file knight for h5. And again, the dark squares are just going to be dominated by the white pieces. Not an easy sacrifice to find, honestly. The computer is just ruthless. All right, let's look at another game. Ooh, looks like Kenneth is taking it to Henry. Henry Burton, bottom board from Yale, who had a big win against board 2 in the previous round, but looks like they're going to be losing this one shortly. So what happened? What went wrong? Trade, knight here, rook takes, takes, rook's doubled, and yeah, just a really strong dark squared bishop, really just hunkering down, holding everything together. And yeah, just every piece black has is coordinating so well. Not to mention up a pawn and a connected pass pawn. Two really deep pass pawns for black in the center. And the king's already centralized, so this should be a walk in the park for Kenneth to convert this. So that's good news from Michigan. Yeah, the classic Fisher pawn. Was that in Derek's game? What happened? Or was it? No, we were not looking at this one. Wow, a lot of shuffling there in the center. Derek's up on time against Raheel. This was this game. Okay, so not playing b3, playing the top, actually, the top move recommended. And, oh my goodness, there's so many fun ideas here. The best move is saying knight h7. I don't suspect that'll be played, actually. I feel like the bishop will come home. But, yeah, there's going to be problems. There will be problems. Under a minute now for Ashvin. There was one other game that I haven't looked at. Neil versus Aiden. Aiden, less than 30 seconds. Neil, about a minute and a half. So this is looking really good for Neil. These board 4s have been doing well. They lost the first round against the top 2 boards, but now round 2 and round 3 looks like they're getting the job. Actually, not Henry, just Neil. My apologies. Yeah, bishop pair here for black, hitting the rook. This rook is basically trapped. Wow. So giving up an exchange here. Pawn push. Ooh. I don't know about all that. Okay, I don't know where to be, you guys. Ashvin is losing. Yeah, this was the game. So here, knight hits the bishop. Bishop steps up. Bishop's looking for the trade. What's going on in this one? Oh, rook takes d4. So nice. Played knight here. And now you can take on b4. It's a free piece. Whoa, hanging this, but going for mate. So the knight has to stick around. That's defended. What's going on? It wants to take on g7. Knight takes. You can take on h6 with check. That's second best. But best is to take on g7. 48 seconds for Aditya to find it. Ashwin, less than 5 seconds. We have some results on the board. Kenneth beating Henry, giving a point to Michigan, a 1-point lead. That is Kenneth's first point, coming at the cost of Yale's 4th board. And it looks like Neil should be getting a point from Michigan as well. This could be a huge round for Michigan. Derek is fighting. Ooh, but Neil blundered in time scramble. Okay, so not taking on g7. 1 second for Ashvin, down to 3 seconds. The knight wants to come here and fork. So the queen steps out of the way. Oh, can we give up a rook for 2 minor pieces? What? Whoa. Mate threat. Pawn push. Another mate threat. Oh my goodness. Check. Check. Queen here. Oh, that's mate. GG. Oh my goodness. The points are flooding in now. So we just watched Aditya beat Ashvin. So that's a huge point for Michigan. And then Derek Claspy is a perfect 3 out of 3. Holy smokes. So this is looking to be a Michigan sweep if Neil can win this game. So where did Neil throw? Neil had such a great position back here. He won the exchange, right? Well, hold on. Black had already won an exchange. But where? Ooh, wow. Brilliant move there. So sacking the exchange, winning the exchange back, and just simply up a pawn in an opposite color bishop endgame. But then something went wrong. So trade, it's opposite color, but yeah. Black's scooping up a lot, and it's a draw. Here's winning with king g5. And it's looking like it's just going to be a draw. And yeah, they drew. So Aiden and Neil. Aiden getting on the board. So the board 3 is seeing success. And with that, I think Michigan just won the match with that round performance. They do still need a point. So it is possible Yale could sweep round 4 for the win, or they could go 3.5 to a half to force overtime. So Yale is not out of it yet, but that halftime break was really good for Michigan. I don't know who gave them their halftime speech, but Yale's going to need to recover quickly after that Michigan performance in round 3. So we've got round 4 underway. This could be the final round of the match. We just need to see if Yale can bring it back. Are there any Yale believers, any Bulldog fans in the chat? Yale, probably the better known school internationally. But Michigan, they've got really good athletics, and they're a great school themselves, and they're looking like they're the better chess team currently. The match is not over yet. Yale has 4 final games to say their piece. Or they'll lose, Michigan will clinch, and they'll move on to their future rounds in future weeks. Or maybe, I think Yale is also playing again tomorrow. So, anyways, it's a long season, 7 weeks in total for the regular season. And then, based off of those results, there will be a playoff bracket. So, it's definitely over 2 months worth of matches. And at the end of the playoffs is when there will be cash prizes awarded. So here, both players just flying through the opening. Ashvin lost their first game in round 3 against Aditya. Let's check in on how Aditya is doing. He's playing against Raheel. So yeah, the Michigan team is just higher rated, it seems. On board 1, on board 2. Not on board 3, nor board 4, but Michigan's getting the points. Yale has to play a little bit of catch up here. So this game, I think, is very exciting. It's opposite side castles. It's one of my favorite formats for the attacking sides. Looks like Black's trying to start the attack on the queen side, and here we go. White's trying to attack the king side. And yeah, Black just pushing a pawn here, or bringing their knight back, but I think White has an opportunity now to play f4. But, okay, didn't want to give it that material, it seemed, too easily. Rook G1, just defending the pawn, and we're getting ready for this, basically. And once that hits, like, white's going to crash through, I think. It's going to be much harder for black to start some trouble against the white king. I think f4, g5, I would be very scared if I was Aditya. So Raheel from Stanford, or sorry, from Yale. I don't know where Stanford came from. Shout out to Stanford. They're not playing in the CCL. Yeah, this I think is just gonna help white gets even more tempo. So, yeah, pawn push, knight dives in, bishop's just ready to take that pawn out. And now g5. This is the most no-brainer move of all time. And anytime Raheel spends not playing g5 is time wasted. So g5, it hits, and it hits hard. If the pawn takes anything, g-file opens up, and this g-pawn is going to be pinned. Look at these pawns here for white. Look at this king. Look at this rook. Oh my goodness, guys. Raheel is cooking. Raheel says, I might have lost in round 3, but last I checked, this is a 4-round match, and we're not giving up just yet. So here, black giving up a bishop for a knight, and white just simply needs to take back. Yale shaking in their sweater vests. I agree. No, I don't have a co-commentator today. It's just me. Okay, this pawn, it's hit. That pawn's going to be snagged off the board with a tempo, no less. The bishop now is hit. This queen is on a freight train down the D file. And black is stunned. Where's their defense? They have to guard this bishop. Or you could move it. You could move it, but this pawn's also going to be hanging. And white's just up material. They're going to be trading down here. So, yeah, bishop here. I mean, I think you just take on e5. You get another tempo. You get another pawn as well. Life is so good, you guys. Bishop here. Threaten mate in 1. If pawn push, the bishop's hanging. Unless you go queen here or here. So, that's looking like your best bet. But also, don't forget, pawn push, we can just simply take. And look at that rook opening up. Luckily, there's a knight and a rook defending. So, yeah. This is looking like a Yale win here. Let's look at the other games. Michigan only needs 1 point. Where can they get it? Can they get it from their top board? From their perfect Derek Claspy, 3 out of 3. Can he go 4 out of 4? The sweep of the Yale team. And it looks like white actually has an advantage here on the position and the clock ever so slightly. So Ashvin also having lost for the first time in round 3, looking to answer things back here. Maybe can see Raheel is doing well on his board, and so wants to follow suit. Oh, am I missing moves? I am missing moves. King h2, king back, bishop rerouting. So these players are still in shuffle mode. Oh my god, Aiden and... Wait, no, sorry. I thought there was a draw. We still have all 4 boards, all 4 games going. This king is not castling. This king has not castled. What's going on in this position? We don't want to take that, do we? I don't know what's going on. Knights under attack. Looking like we're going to trade knights. Pawn push. Black wants to open up the H-file. What's up, Bala? How's your match going? Okay, this is Kenneth and Aiden, the board 3s. Let's check on the board 4s. Both board 4s have gotten a win so far. All right, a trade here. This is looking pretty even, Steven. Oh, we have a result. Yeah, Raheel. We were watching Raheel's game, and yeah, this was just a demolition. Yeah, rook. The problem is this pawn is hanging. This is hanging, and that's also hanging. So, GG. Raheel doing their part to bring Yale back one game at a time. Raheel gets their second point. Still down by 2 though, and Michigan's looking pretty solid still. So we've got Derek Claspy here bringing things back. The computer was giving a slight edge towards white, but as you can see here, after this trade, it's saying that it's pretty even, Steven. Ball is match 7.5. Oh, on the last one. Love when the match goes to the last game. Very close indeed. So we've got 3 games left in this match. Michigan needs just 1 point. 1 point to win the match. Where can they get it? Could it be this one, Derek? He's a perfect 3 out of 3 so far, but he's down on time, 40 seconds to a minute and a half from Ashvin. Ashvin has to take back this rook, or they're looking at potentially taking that pawn. They decided not to. Pawn takes. That's an isolated pawn. Black could return the favor and isolate white's pawn, but it will cost them their bishop, which they might not want to do. And this pawn looks like it's supported to push. We've got an open file for the rook. This queen not doing too much. Knight in, but what is it doing? Double question mark, blunder. Why? There's a check. I was thinking maybe this pawn is hanging. Oh, and they do take the pawn, but the computer doesn't like it. Rook now, opposite the queen, hitting the bishop. Bishop's got to move? No. The knight comes in, defending the bishop and opening up the queen, cutting this queen off. So multi-purpose move here. Derek Claspy fighting back with less than 30 seconds. Ashvin now under a minute. Still 3 games remaining. White has yet to come up with a response here. You got to save this knight. And if you move the knight, you're getting checked. Knight here is also kind of annoying. You could push this pawn. What's the computer saying? Best move is queen to c1. Kind of a ridiculous move, if you ask me. What is queen c1 even, dude? It's saying rook takes f2 is the second best move. 4 seconds. Ashvin, absolutely stunned. Can't figure it out. Takes on f2. Takes on g7. Any knight move is a discovery, but that can be answered perhaps fairly easily. But the king just simply steps aside. Bishop in. Pinning the knight. Knight coming back. And now we've got a blunder here, folks. Queen f4 check, and that's going to be the family fork. Derek Claspy going to get the job done for you, Mish. This is too easy. Resigns. Done. Derek Claspy seals the deal, sending Yale back to no points for them. So Michigan getting their first match win of the season. Unless you're counting the forfeit win they got against Purdue in week 1, which does count, by the way. Look at these bishops just being a menace. Look at that pawn just being all passed and looking pretty. So Aiden looking good for Yale. Now these matches, these games still matter because of the tie breaks at the end of the season. So it's important to get as many points as you can. Houseline with a huge rate of 13. Thank you. Hello and welcome. Pawn push. We have this, but look at that. Look at that pawn. Rook's attacking that, I guess. Pawn push, not that great. Look at that. Oh, no. Uh-oh. Hold on. Oh, a mistake, perhaps? A free pawn? Computer hated that, though. What was the move here? C4. Oh. Keeping things closed. Here, now this is hit. Now when this comes, that's going to hurt. Ouch. This is going to be painful, I suspect, because you're queening with a double check discovery. So this rook is falling. You have to play the move. What does it want? Oh, attacking this? Oh, but just give the check. Just give the check. Oh, he missed it. Hold on. Nope. Well, he's not going to miss that. Oh, that's blocked. What am I talking about? Ooh. Ah. It's so pretty, you guys. Oh, wow. The Desperado. But this is going to be mate. Okay, so Aiden getting a point there. And we have one last game. So Aiden gets their first win of the match. And now here we've got the board fours going at it. Henry versus Neil. And it looks like Henry's putting on some work. That's going to be very upsetting. If Henry wins this, they'll bring it back within 1 point. Shout out to Houseline. Everyone should go check out Houseline. Really appreciate the raid. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, that's just an outside pass pawn. It's getting pushed. The rook is hit. The rook moves. The pawn is hit. The pawn moves. The knight moves. Looking to go here. Gonna get it. Oh, goes here. Ah, because of this. Very smart. Very wise. So when the pawn pushes, the knight goes here and guards the promotion, but we have a flag. Neil goes down. Henry gets their second point, and ultimately, Yale loses by only 1 single point. They try to come back in the end, but Derek Claspy proved to be too strong for this University of Michigan team. The man coming in clutch with a very much needed perfect 4 out of 4 score, getting 4 out of the 8.5 points that his team mustered up for their victory against the Ivy League Yale team. All right, you guys, give me a moment. I'm actually going to be bringing on one of the players, actually, for an interview. If you guys want to stick around. I'm doing well, Chessie. How are you? Thanks for being here. So yeah, just give me a moment. I will be right back. Hey Derek, congratulations. You just won your first match of the season. 8.5 to 7.5 was pretty close in the end there against Yale, but you had a perfect 4 out of 4 score. How are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling pretty good. I think I started off playing pretty badly, but I saw my team get some good sorry, some good results against some high rated opponents, and yeah, that was really like motivating. And I realized that we had a good chance. This was a pretty tough team.
So we actually were watching all of your games, and you had some fans in the chat. There were a lot of people saying, "Hey, go back to Derek's game. Like, go check out what Derek's doing." And that no one else was looking for anyone else's games. They just cared about your
Mhm.
games. So, do you know about that? Do you know you have a lot of fans out there?
No, I wasn't aware of that. But always appreciate the support.
Is if there's anything you want to say to your fans out there, what would you say?
Uh, I yeah, if I no, nothing. I'm glad that they're out here showing support for chess.
So your team so far is a perfect 2 out of 2 because I think your
Mm.
first week you had a forfeit win against Purdue.
Yeah.
Um, do you think your team can keep up the perfect score? Are you gonna have a perfect season?
Yep. I guess I have to say yeah, right? But I think we've got a good lineup this year. We'll just keep playing the matches as they come up and we'll see how it goes.
Have you played in the CCL before? Is this your first season?
I did last year in the fall.
And how did you guys do?
Um I don't remember, so I guess we didn't probably go like too far, but sorry. Um but But I think this year I think we'll do a lot better because you have some returning and some new players. Um, yeah,
Do you remember what division you were in?
I want to say two.
Okay, so do you think your team got weaker because it's in D3, or do you think the league just got stronger?
Oh, that's a good question. Maybe both. Honestly, I don't know too much about the lineups of the other teams. I kind of just like see them as they show up.
Okay, but this is your first time on broadcast, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Do you remember anyone on the Michigan team before your time? Like, do you think you're the board one, obviously? So have you always been the strongest player at University of Michigan?
I think that there were some strong players before I got to college, but I think they mostly graduated. So. I
Yeah,
don't know. Like I know Ben Lee used to go to our university, but I think he's moved on now.
yeah, I think he's at Northeastern now for grad
Okay.
school. But shout out to Ben Lee,
Mm.
international master, also known as Papa Pizza. So he's definitely a strong legend of the CCL. Um, but yeah, how's it being able to beat Yale? Were you looking forward? Is that a particular rivalry match or not really?
Um, I wouldn't say so. I guess I recognize some of the names, like some of the because they showed up on the like in the live chess things. So that was pretty cool, but nothing special about Yale, I guess.
Nothing special because they just lost to Michigan in chess.
They did.
So
Yeah.
I know you guys actually have a pretty big rivalry with Ohio State, but I don't even think
Mhm.
they registered in the CCL this year. Do you have any
Yeah.
comments on that?
I mean, makes sense. I wouldn't expect anything more. But they're always welcome to make a chess team. We can show them how it's played.
Yeah, maybe we could set up a rivalry match between you guys. But we have another match that's starting in about 15 minutes in Division One,
Mhm.
Mizzou versus Texas Tech. Do you know anything about these teams?
I've heard about Texas Tech. I've heard it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Um, I'm assuming they're both pretty good though, so maybe I'll tune in.
Do you know the top word from the Mizzou team?
What's their name?
Ari Tari.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a pretty good team, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
So,
know.
do you have a favorite in that match?
Who's the top word of the other team?
I don't even know.
Okay.
Uh, hold on. It's Sebastian Lucas Kostolansky.
Mhm. Oh, he's pretty good. And
Do you
he's
know
like
him?
my age too. Yeah, we like used to play it a while ago. I feel like any team with Ari and Tari is going to be pretty hard to beat. Um,
Yeah, Mizzou, they're the number one seed.
That makes a lot of
Um,
sense.
Texas Tech, I believe, are the seventh seed.
Okay. Yeah. No, that sounds like a really interesting matchup.
Well, we'll be
Yeah.
watching that after if anyone wants to stick around, but I think a lot of people were mostly here for just for you. So we're trying to get you as much screen time as possible.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, have you considered streaming?
No, no, I don't. I don't know if my two fans in the chat would be enough to justify, spending a few hours in front of a screen. Um, but we'll have to see. I'll have to
Okay.
contact these ones. Yeah.
Would you say chess is your biggest hobby?
Um, no, no, it's probably the thing I'm like best at. But I actually have a few guys here that I'm about to go play volleyball with. Um, we've been doing that a bunch, and I apologize for earlier. They're pretty funny and distracting. So
Yeah, are you in a shared space right now?
yeah, yeah,
Okay. Do you know Bala?
I do. Yes,
Yeah. All right, tell him I said hi.
I will.
He's in the chat. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time. I'll
Thank
let
you.
you get going and good luck in volleyball, and hopefully
Thank
we'll
you.
see you back winning more chess matches. Undefeated so far. Perfect 4 out of 4. The team
Yes.
is a perfect 2 out of 2. So I'll
Mhm.
keep wishing you best of luck, and hopefully you guys will go deep in the playoffs this season. So thank you.
Perfect. Yeah, thanks for having me. Bye.
All right.
All right.
That was the one and only Bala. Not Bala. That was Derek Claspy, board one from University of Michigan. Um, yeah, great having their board one join us, and wishing them good luck for sure in the future. But we've got another match coming up, so I'm gonna take about a 10-minute break. Hope to see you all back. We'll be returning with Division One, a match between Mizzou and Texas Tech. As you heard from Derek himself, this is a highly anticipated match. Two very strong teams, two of the strongest teams in the world, actually, in college chess. Both are scholarship teams. Texas Tech, we watched lose to SLU just last week, 10.5 to 5.5. Mizzou, the number one seed overall, with top board Aryan Tari, coming off a very strong win, 12.5 to 3.5 against University of Virginia, the eighth seed in Division One. So Mizzou is definitely the favorite, but Texas Tech, they can upset some teams. They actually made it fairly close at the end against SLU, but SLU, very dominant team as well. The defending champions held on strong in that final round. So yeah, I will return. I will see you all soon. Hello and welcome back to the Collegiate Chess League Fall 2025 season. My name is Joe, and this is week 2. We've got Mizzou versus Texas Tech University. These are two heavy-hitting teams, two Division 1 teams, two scholarship teams, basically rivals. They've played OTB many times in the past, and now they're playing online in the Collegiate Chess League. Mizzou coming off a very strong, dominant win from week 1, 12.5 to 3.5 against University of Virginia. Mizzou is also the number 1 seed, and Texas Tech is coming off of their first week's loss against St. Louis University, the defending champs. That match ended 10.5 to 5.5, and I believe Mizzou should still be the favorite in this matchup, looking to go perfect 2 for 2. Texas Tech looking to get their first points on the board, but it's going to be a tough task against the number 1 seed in the entire league. So Mizzou, they've got a very strong roster. Top board, Arjen Tari. You should know of him by now. One of Norway's best players. But yeah, I think we're still waiting on some of the players to show up. Honestly, from Mizzou, Texas Tech, they've had all their players ready to go, it seems. But yeah, I think we're going to try and go ahead and start the matches. What's up, Normal at Super? Good to see you. What college did I go to? I went to UCLA, Landon. Oh, thank you, Landon. I appreciate it. Who are the bad boys of college chess? Well, the the defending champs, SLU, they're the heavy favorites every season, it seems. But Mizzou has Arjen Tari, and they're the number 1 seed. And Robbie Kevlishvili just graduated from SLU, so they might be the favorites this year. That being said, I am curious to see if we'll get some of these games started, because I think Mizzou is still missing some of their players, but they might get started anyways. Who's relaxing ball? That's a good question. All right. I'm waiting for the games to start. Positive vibes. Thank you very much. Texas Tech, they played in D1 before, but the last time I broadcasted them was 2020. So it's been 5 years since they've played in the top division of CCL on broadcast. All right, looks like the Mizzou players are actually trying their best to join. Two of them are in Georgia, not the state, but the country for chess, apparently. Anyone know what's going on in Georgia? Is Western University? Is that in Canada? Western University? You mean Webster? London. London, Ontario? No, I think he meant Webster. Webster's the only scholarship school that's not competing in the Collegiate Chess League. The other London. Oh, so I was right? Because I think there is a Western University in Canada that plays in the CCL. Um. Okay, I am unfortunately not finding them. Where are these games? Okay. All right. All right. And we've got games. This is Luca versus Sebastian. Luca's the board 4 from Mizzou up against Sebastian, board 1 from Texas Tech. Uh, let's check in with Ari Tari, the board 1 from Mizzou, playing against the board 4 from Texas Tech, Philip Nathaniel Moore. So Ariantari is the strongest player in the league, over 3,000 rated blitz. Grandmaster from Norway, studying at Mizzou. He's currently in Texas, actually, behind enemy lines. Maybe he could have played in person against his Texas opponents. On the roster graphic, honestly, it's probably possible, but I can barely fit Sebastian's full name. Hold on. Let me get rid of that middle name there. There we go. Yeah, I don't have the ratings there, but you can maybe see the ratings underneath their names on the left-hand side. So Ariantari 3,035. Philip Moore 2,700. So 300 elo in Arian's favor as the black pieces here. Board 1 from Mizzou. We've got Mahel against Bilaville Bodan. Bodan is actually the captain from Texas Tech. So Mahale, I think, is a new player for Mizzou. I haven't seen them play before. So this could be their debut season. Aryan Tari played last year. Uh, he was part of their championship team in his inaugural season, and then they got second place last year to SLU, I believe. So yeah, Mizzou, this is a championship team. They're no strangers to winning, but they are coming off a second place finish from last year. Actually, Aryan Tari looks like he's... What's going on in this game? Queen out is a blunder. Bishop here, and the queen's trapped, actually. That's ridiculous. So he has to give up. He gets 2 minor pieces for the queen. So Aryan trapping that queen. Look at this queen move. Knight here, queen here, and bishop trapping the queen. So Aryan Tari, strong start. A great start even. Against the board 4. Wow, knight takes on g2. Aryan looking to just... I don't know. He's looking to just take as much as he can. This is going to be a wipeout very quickly. And yeah, Philip doesn't have much here, unfortunately. He's playing on fumes. Okay, h7 is hit. Knight back, attacking the bishop and the rook. There is a check. There is one check that can be given. Okay, wow. Bishop hits the queen. Tari gives the queen back, but he gets a rook and a bishop for it. So he's up. He won that pawn as well. That's 3 points of material in exchange. And a pawn, actually, it's more than that. What's... Oh, yeah, no, there's a rook here. Okay, yeah. It is an exchange and a pawn. So Tari just wants to simplify things, but White's happy they got something out of it. Okay, knight here opens up the rook, attacking this knight. You could trade, but you don't really want to do that. Philip Moore down to 10 seconds versus 3.5 minutes for Aryan Tari. He's trapping this knight as well now, actually. The knight got a little too close to the sun and is now trapped, and we have resignation. So just an absolute demolition there. Let's look at Isak versus Roman. Roman from Texas Tech actually looks to be crushing in this game. Let's take it back here and see what we had. So we have queenside castles trading here. Black has yet to castle, but they're stirring up some trouble against White's king. a mate threat, inducing a pawn push, and now black is using that as an opportunity to just attack, getting this pawn deep to b3. Pawn push after finally black castles, looking to play g5 perhaps, but black might have some ideas here. What could they be? There could be a sack, an exchange sack, but what we want is for the queen to coordinate with this pawn, really. So Roman has a minute and 50. Isak is just under a minute. We have another result. Mahel, board 2 from Mizzou, also getting the win. So Mahel with the black pieces, trading off knights. We have kingside castles for both sides. Trading bishops. Trading queens. A flight square. Yeah, not taking this pawn because your knight will get trapped. So trading here, doubling the pawns, and that black rook is just scooping up pawn after pawn. That's a 2-pawn advantage for black, and Mahel looks to be able to smoothly convert the rook and pawn in game there. All right, let's take a look at Luca now. Luca is board 4 from Mizzou and looks to be doing quite well here. It's a 2-0 lead so far for Mizzou. And Texas Tech, they got to get it back, or else Mizzou might run away with it. Mizzou might not want to give back the lead. So, annoying queen here for sure. There's always a check. You could maybe win this pawn, actually. This knight is pinned a little bit. Knight hits the rook. Also hits the pawn. So the rook should move, grabs this pawn. Pressure on the knight. Knight is defended. That's one check. King here. Oh, knight block. I missed that. That's defending the pawn. All right. Rook in. Looking to dislodge the king, protecting this knight. We might have to push. Okay, rook comes back. Making sure we're guarding this. Now the rook lines up opposite the queen. So looking at discoveries, potentially. Yeah, this move would be annoying for sure. Although I guess there you could just take this. So the knight's also pinned, which is kind of funny. But okay, queen here. Still keeping an eye on this. 14 seconds for Sebastian. Luca's looking good. Isak brought it back against Roman. All right, so now rook here maybe, or rook here. Rook here, there's queen takes. Ah, okay, but maybe knight here. No, just pushing the passer. Pushing yet again. This knight's still pinned. This is looking even better for white. You can trade and then... Yeah, just push again. Why not? Check. Okay. I mean, you could even take like this if you wanted to. You could take it either way. Okay, Isak brought it back entirely. Trade, you could take that. Maybe you should take that. I should say. Whoa, didn't take. Okay. Now queen. Queen, please. Forcing queens off for... Yeah, this is even smoother. Ooh. Last try from black, hoping for a pre-move. But didn't fall for it. Okay, so Luca gets on the board, and Mizzou's looking for a first-round sweep. It's always good when your board 4 beats a board 1. And yeah, Isak here. Let's go back and look at how this game started, because it seems that Isak did not have their best start. So yeah, we did see a lot of this so far. And black was looking very strong. They missed certain ideas like bringing the queen in. So white was able to bring their pieces around to defend. This is saying it's a blunder because of rook to b4. That's a fork, I guess. Or, well, I don't know. Anyways, we see a lot of trades. We see a passed pawn pushed through. A queen is traded. Another passed pawn getting there. So 2 passed pawns on the 7th just waiting. And now we have the b pawn entering. And now, yeah, with that extra b pawn, that's 3 passed pawns. We see the trade now, and Mizzou finishes the round 1 sweep. What a dominant performance there from Mizzou, and they're already halfway to getting 8 points. You need 8.5 to win the match. So Texas Tech not looking too hot after round 1. They're gonna have to do some soul searching, I think, to get back in this match. I need to check something. Okay, 1 second, you guys. I need to find the games were moved. Here we go. All right. Round 2 underway. Okay, Isak from Turkey, or is it Isaac? Does Baylor have a team? Baylor does have a chess club. They have played in the past. I don't think they registered this season, unfortunately. But they will likely join next season. I'm in touch with their club leader as well as their esports director, actually. So Baylor definitely has interest in college chess. Let's keep an eye on Ariantari. He had the fastest win in round 1. So there might not be any end in sight. All right. Yep, Tari, he's opened up the F file. He's pushing F5. Lots of tension. Tari has connect 4, looking for connect 5 maybe. Wouldn't that be fun? And okay, we see a trade. We see another trade here. Interestingly, he couldn't take this way without losing the exchange, so he trades bishops first. Queen steps up. Now that's a fork. That's how you're going to get this pawn back. So nice tactics, it seems. The rook has to be saved unless you want to give up a piece or an exchange. So to defend the rook, you either have to hit the queen, or you have to move your queen, or you could have put a knight back, or you could have moved the rook. So we see a trade here. And now I'm expecting, okay, queen trade is offered here. I'm sure black doesn't like the space that white's pieces have the space that they have near their king. What's up, brother Mystic? How's it going? Okay, queen steps back, keeping pressure on the rook. Knight in. I would play rook over, but just attacking the knight immediately. There's takes, knight takes, developing off the back rank. Yeah, and Tari's playing very fast as well. Yeah, UCLA does play. UCLA played last weekend. We watched them lose, unfortunately, to UC Berkeley. So in-state rivalry match there. UCLA, though, very strong team in Division Two, so just below D1. Fun fact, Mizzou and UCLA played in the playoffs in the very inaugural season of the CCL all the way back in 2020, 5 years ago. And Mizzou beat UCLA in the semifinals, moving on to play against SLU in the finals. So UCLA was third place overall, only behind SLU and Mizzou back in the inaugural season. Here we see an attempt at trading bishops. If bishop takes, knight takes, we're threatening checkmate on h7, so keep an eye out for that. UCLA is a great school. Yeah, if you want to join the UCLA Discord, I should have this link actually. That's where you would find their meeting announcements. You should check out their chess club. I'm pretty sure they meet Thursdays and Fridays. I could be wrong though. But they announce it on the server. So definitely recommend checking that out. UCLA had a couple streamers as well. There's even one there still. All right, so this opens up the rook, but we're going to have to trade here. I like knight f5 as an idea. I would even consider bringing the rook back, although we are inviting their rook perhaps to c3. Just kind of hitting our stuff. Okay, black's offering this queen trade here, but perhaps queen d1 actually could be very strong. And yeah, it's exactly what the computer one is, queen d1. Queen d1 just looking at all these important squares. Queen d2 is instead played. So Aryantari is going to have to take a lesson from me at some point. I'm just kidding. Okay. But yeah, this knight's a little bit in the way, but the knight is going to try to hop in. Knight on f5 is going to be just a beautiful piece for white, just hitting all of the dark squares. In checking distance, right? Threatening a fork. Just a beautiful piece overall for sure. We're not going to kick that knight away because then the h pawn will fall with check or worse. So yeah, queen d2. 3 minutes and 10 seconds for Aryantari. His opponent down to a minute and a half. Bringing the rook in now, and now we see knight to f5. Logical. And we might see a sacrifice. We might see a trade and then a sacrifice. I mean, both are just phenomenal. Actually, the computer's saying sacrifice first, and then don't trade. Don't bring the queen in, but bring your second knight to f5. Okay, so Tari, he trades first, then sacrifices, but the computer is saying that this is not actually good enough. But there's only one move, and it's queen e8. Black has found it. And now, what happens if we bring the rook in? There's going to be a check. King here. Is there going to be enough? Good question. I don't know. I'd like to imagine there's not enough. What happens if we go rook here? Just somebody explain this to me. Rook here? There's rook here maybe? pawn push. He wants rook here. The rook's coming back to defend. So Aryantari, he's invested a knight for 2 pawns in front of black's king. However, black is bringing the pieces back to defend the black king. The king is rallying its troops. And now white has to regroup. They're going for this pawn now. This knight is so far out, it's not even playing, truly. However, this is far from over. Black is trying to put up a defense. The best move is to bring this knight back. You're actually giving this pawn up, which can be very scary. The knight goes here instead. Queen grabs. We've just allowed knight e3 though. Knight e3, we can go here, hitting the rook, hitting the knight. Knight takes, we take, they take, or maybe they save their, I don't know. Yeah, they go for the fork, we go for their rook, and now the knight needs to come home to e3. You could also have taken this. I think the queen needs to come back to e5. So Aryan is up a lot of time as well. That's a big factor in all of it. But he definitely missed a much better sequence. He is down a piece for 2 pawns. But they're 2 connected pass pawns. But it's scary. Your king could get mated, right? You're a move away from having it threatened on you, which isn't great. Queen takes one of the central posts. Very smart centralization. Just making sure the pieces are defended. You're hitting the tempo on the knight. And now maybe you hit g4. Maybe you push this pawn. Maybe not. Okay, pawn push. Queen pinning the pawn. Computer says it's a miss. There's a check. There's 2 checks. Hey, Almany. Good to see you. We do have a result. Mahel Boyer getting a point. The board 2 from Mizzou, adding to that massive score. 5-0 now. Okay, while we're waiting for a move there, it looks like Isak will lose this game. So that's resignation. So Texas Tech gets on the board, their top board, getting a point against board 3 from Mizzou. And looks like we have the queens traded off, actually. This pawn is hit. And the knight maybe is going to come back. Yeah, it's tough to play this. Okay, knight here, and it's losing now, actually. Just king here. No, king here. Knight here. King up. Oh, pawn check, king back. Yeah, this is falling. No. This isn't working. You're going to drop. Yeah, okay. Aryan just lost. What did he need to do here? There's only one winning move, and it's king to d4, which he missed. Yeah, he shouldn't have given the check, as obvious as that sounds. So, unfortunate for Aryan. He's going to try his best to hold this to a draw. The problem is that he's losing because black has a knight and a pawn. That's all they need. This knight should be able to catch this pawn. You could even just, yeah, give up the knight now. And then this is a very clean, easy, simple win for black. So Aryan's going to go down. Aryan played a little too quickly. That's exactly what Texas Tech needed. And let's look at this. Oh my goodness, Roman wins as well. A very big answer. It looked down and out for this Texas Tech team, but they didn't give up so easily. They rallied back. And Aryan not resigning here. Maybe he's disconnected. Maybe he's hoping for his opponent to fall asleep. Nope, there's the resignation. He was looking for the resignation. He hasn't done it in a while. He couldn't find it. So Bodon gets a win. Uh, Roman gets a win. And yeah, they win that round 3-1. And they're still down by 2. So they still have an uphill battle to climb, but that's exactly what they needed. Aryan washed. I don't know about that, but yeah, Aryan did miss a devastating tactic. He could have won, but he missed it. So we're moving on. No rest for the weary. Going to round 3 here. Roman against Aryan. So great start for Mizzou, winning the first 5 games in a row, and then Texas Tech winning 3 back, bringing it back within 2. So here we go, round 3 underway. Hello, monkey. How's it going? How often do I see Danny Wrench in person? At least once a year. I used to see him more. All right, 2 nights out for Roman against E5. D4, trading. Aryan with the black pieces, probably still tilted from that previous round. But they're shaking it off. They're going on. They're moving. They're grooving. Knight here, computer says, what you doing? Because now knight f5, attacking the bishop, attacking the pawn, which would be with check, which you don't want to give up. So probably you'll castle, is my assumption. I couldn't imagine you doing anything else. Oh, castling is bad though, actually, because you take with check, and then you're gonna ruin that pawn structure. Wow. So maybe you just bring the bishop back. That's kind of sad. Yeah, Aryan's playing too fast and too poorly. He won that first game. It was all part of Texas Tech's plan this whole time. They said, "Hey guys, I think we throw the first round, and then we get them right where we want them. We calm them down. We make them have a false sense of security. We make them think that we're bad." Right? They even threw the first week's match. They said, "Let's lose to SLU and then get swept in round 1 against Mizzou, and then we're going to actually start trying." And that's when we're going to have everyone bamboozled. We're going to take it to them starting in round 2 of week 2. And yeah, here there is knight takes, king to f8, as interesting as this is. And then you kind of have to trade and come back. Oh, he takes here. Interesting decision. Now Aryan can take on g5, actually, if he wants to. So yeah, here I'm surprised you don't take on g7, right? But okay. Who am I? Who am I to say? So yeah, just trading here, and Aryan Tari, he's been let off the hook. He's been given new life. You can tell there's some more energy in his movement, right? Some pep in his step. Okay, queenside castles for white. 1 minor piece left to finish development. We could see this pawn push. Let's check in on the other games. We've got Mihal against Sebastian. Yeah. Mizzou, they have 4 grandmasters. And Texas Tech, they have 3 international masters. And Nathaniel Philip Moore is not titled, apparently, but was 2,700, now 2,695, according to chess.com Blitz rating. So Sebastian down under less than a minute than Mihal. Mihail Boyer, who's opting not to castle. I guess white hasn't castled either. So we've got double pawns here. Bishop pair for white. So that's kind of nice, guarding these pawns against this queen. I like the pawn duo for white, but this pawn's only defended by the queen, and we could see black has intentions of taking advantage of that. So queen steps up, attacking this bishop. We're technically hanging the pawn. However, that's actually not hanging at all. We could oh, it's hanging with check. It's hanging with check. The idea I thought was that you could fork the king and the queen, but you cannot do that if you're in check. So this pawn is not hanging because the knight needs to defend. In fact, pushing this pawn might be a threat at some point, but this bishop could always take with check. Queen decides to counter, attacking here. Bishop steps back, defending the pawn, but that leaves this pawn hanging, which leaves that rook hanging. But white probably will just castle, defending this rook. Maybe taking this. Probably not. This is board 2 for Mizzou, Mihail versus Sebastian, board 1. No, board 3? No, board 4. No. This is board 1. Okay. Or do I have the I probably have the names in the wrong order or something. Am I Lee or Bruin? Could I be both? Perhaps. Maybe not. My real name is Joe Lee. My last name is Lee. My nickname is Joe Bruin. Bruin is the nickname that I got from UCLA. That's the UCLA mascot. And the mascot's name is actually Joe Bruin. So I'm basically a fraud. Okay, so this is a double question mark mistake because can't we just take that? Computer also likes to move a3, but yeah, what's wrong with taking? Mihail, giving up in exchange. Question mark. So you cannot take with the knight, as tempting as that might be, because again, that knight is needed. You can't take this getting rid of your bishop because the bishop takes back, which means that black has to take with the queen. So we must ask ourselves if there's something we can do intermezzo, like rook here or something, but the knight's covering that. So yeah, just simply taking I think is the best. The computer liked the a3 move for whatever reason, but I wasn't sure why. Now it likes it again. I guess there's queen takes pawn, and both of these things are hanging. So that's cool. There is takes with check first, though. Hello, Cookilo. All right. 40 seconds for Sebastian. Rook defending the pawn. That's kind of a weird move. Queen h3. And I guess we can go here. But then maybe takes to keep the knight out. Let's look at the other games. We haven't been looking at all of them. Here we've got Luca, board 4 from Mizzou, 2900 Grandmaster, up against the team captain, Texas Tech's third board, Bodan Bilovil. Oh yeah, this is round 3, so I have the board orders right. Just was confused. Okay, mate in 1 seems to be like the threat here, which I think is pretty good. Always good to threaten mate. Bishop comes back defending. But these pieces are a bit more active than these pieces, but the problem is, for black at least, that white is up a pawn. And when you're up a pawn, that's typically a good thing. So Luca should be pushing this for the win. Let's check in on the board for from Texas Tech, the only non-titled player. He might be titled, but just doesn't have it. But anyways, this is a fork, ladies and gentlemen. That's pretty darn good. I don't see how you get out of this. Isaac should be winning this. You can save your knight for a little bit. Well, really what you're doing is saving your rook for a lot. It's going to cost you a single knight. This fork is going to set black back a piece. And Mizzou is going to be rebuilding that lead, their 5-point lead, now cut down to 2. Is there any good news for the Texas Tech team? Well, yes. It looks like Roman is pushing Aryan Tari to the edge of his clock. He's down to 12 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. There is 2-second increment. We have a capture here. Over a minute still is Roman, International Master, board 2. So I see 2 rooks that are just hanging out, right? There's pressure on the H-pawn. That's a problem. So what's Roman to do? Do you defend your H-pawn with this rook or this rook maybe? Yes. Rook lifted, and now black says, I would like to attack you now. White's doubling. We have the A file opened up. 5 seconds for Aryan Tari. 4, 3, 2. Made that move with 2 seconds on the clock. Can we take here? Yes, we can. Ladies and gentlemen, we've got a tactic. Queen takes c5, although it's not even the best move. The best move is rook takes d6, and then queen takes c5. Will Roman find it? He's got the extra time. He doesn't. He misses it. The king steps aside, and now Aryan Tari has a breath of life. All right, queen pressure on the rook. Queen's got to guard this guy. We're also opposite of them, by the way. Also, watch out for this. That was a rook takes tactic. So queen here defending, guarding against this. Now we're attacking the rook with check. Rook saves itself. Now this pawn is hanging, and if that pawn hangs, that pawn hangs. There's no time to take this. There is time to take that. And now this pawn goes, offers a queen trade. Tari says no, leaves the queens on. 5 seconds for Tari. 10 for Roman. Doubled rooks. Rook takes on h2. Aryan just snagging the pawns. There goes another pawn. So it's 2 pawns for each side. It's pretty darn symmetrical. It's pretty even Steven. Uh-oh. You got to watch out for this long diagonal. Whoever controls the diagonal controls the game. Queen hits the rook, though. Rook doubles with the queen. Queen here looks really strong. But now that black has doubled, they too can control the file. Rook hits the pawn. Rook defends the pawn. Queen steps up, looking for the diagonal, but Aryan gets there first. Queen here. Was there rook d1? No, because the queen was there. Queen back. So now black might look to come here. That's why the queen went here. So if the rook could get to the A file, okay, trading here, but now the black pawns are running. They had a head start. And now, look at that pawn go. Rook comes back to stop it, but the second pawn joins in, and Aryan Tari looks like he's going to convert this. Rook up, pinning the rook to the king, but that's not a problem at all. You can just bring the king over, or you can push your pawns. You can give up that pawn, that rook, with check. King says, all right, now I'm attacking you, and I'm threatening a queen. Black queens with check. White also wants to queen, but it's not even going to come with check, and it's probably not even going to queen. So the queen steps up, guarding this and lining that up with the check. Rook here trying to guard the queen, but now guess what? Aryan says, I'm going to have 2 queens. That's a skewer, though. Hold on. There goes the pawn. Holy smokes, folks. The computer says this is a draw. It says you can play rook f3 or you could, yeah, wow. Let's see if we can hold a fortress with less than 10 seconds to go. Can white hold? There's a check. This rook is going to do its best to keep the king away. There's a check. There's another check. And now you're out of checks. So you have to move. Rook steps up. And now can Tari do anything with this queen? Five seconds. Moving the king. Getting checked. Can Tari make progress? That is the question. Sebastian beat Mahel. I believe. Luca won. Isak won. I think this is the last game. Okay. Yeah, this is a fortress. If you believe in such things. Rook c5. King over. Just don't flag. Aryan should have won. Aryan should have won, and then he got skewered. So, I don't know where he messed it up. Maybe that's exactly where he messed it up. So yeah, black is completely winning. It didn't like this move at all. Here, f2 with check. Should have gone queen g2 apparently, is winning. But yeah, here, I mean, he just gives up the pawn. He gets the other pawn, but it's just a draw. So it is just a draw. We're going to hit 50 move rule soon. Oh. King always has shelter. 1 second for Aryan. He's going to flag. 5 seconds. Yeah, Aryan just can't flag is the thing. Imagine you get skewered. 4 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Move. 2.7. Uh-oh. And now white, they're pushing their pawn. That resets the 50 move rule. And he's lost the pawn. There goes the fortress. Wow. He separated the king from the pawn. And now Aryan Tari is making progress. He's going to win this. It's queen versus rook. And now Roman might be tilted. There are potential stalemate tricks like the Rosen trap. However, queen b3? No. Queen c3? I mean, I'm sure there are multiple ways to win. Oh, and here you have it. There you have it, folks. Resigns at this point. You can't stop mate. Wow. Wow, what a game from Aryan Tari. I mean, he had it, he lost it, and then he won it back again. Holy smokes. I mean, white tried their best against all odds. Yeah, here he shouldn't have done what he did. Queen g2 is a very nice move. Why not queen here? Rook e2. This is so funny. But this, and this doesn't work because we queen. Okay. Yeah. So he had to find queen g2 here, really. That's crazy. Anyways, Mizzou now, they've gotten their lead back. And maybe this is still part of Texas Tech's plan. Texas Tech is looking to sweep Mizzou back in round 4. The 4-4 reverse sweep, basically, to tie it and bring it to overtime. In fact, that is all Texas Tech can hope for. They can't even afford a single draw. Any draw will win the match for Mizzou. So I'm expecting Mizzou to win this pretty easily. But don't tell them I said that. Well, I mean, don't tell Texas Tech, really. But anyways, it's all good. Texas Tech, they put up some resistance in round 2, but Mizzou broke through again. So Tari with the white pieces. He gives up the B pawn to activate his rook. He hits the queen. Queen's going to have to step back. So it's board 1 versus board 1. Sebastian, 2900, international master. Okay, discovery. Knight looking to hop in here. Queen can go home. Then the knight will have to leave. Queen d8 is the only move here. And he finds it. Oh, he's leaving the knight hanging. Double exclam, brilliancy. Would you look at that? And what's the idea here, folks? The idea is hold on, just give me a moment to process and think this. I guess if pawn takes, we have bishop check, and then this knight's going to be hanging. So we get the knight back, I guess. Aryan Tari showing off his brilliancies. Here's your c6. Oh my goodness. So smooth. So cool. Okay, but we don't see the capture. We see knight back to f6. And yet again, the computer wants to sack the knight. Just develop that bishop. Funny enough. Yeah. Honestly, any of the Mizzou players could offer a draw and have a good chance of ending the match just like that. But it is still the regular season, so they will likely want to push for as many points as possible. Those are important for tiebreakers, which right now Mizzou is in the lead, ahead of SLU by 2 points in their match score. So sometimes winning is not even enough. You have to win by a lot. And that's what Mizzou wants to do here today against Texas Tech. So the bishop finally comes out. White's ready to castle, getting their last king, or their last piece, their rook into the center and putting their king to safety. And we will also be expecting an interview after the match, so stick around, you guys. It's not over yet. Texas Tech could still sweep. Apparently, the Missouri players are all traveling right now, except for Luca, I think. But yeah, imagine they all disconnect and lose on time. That'd be funny. It'd actually be kind of sad. But anyways, look at the time difference here. Mihail versus Roman. Roman already under 2 minutes and Mihail over 4 minutes. So the Mizzou players, they know to play fast. And shout out to their coach, Christian Carilla, part of the C Squared podcast. He's been doing some great commentary for the St. Louis Chess Club, covering the Grand Chess Tour that just finished in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Shout out to Fabiano Caruana for winning against MVL, who got second. Fabi, I think, winning 150 grand. Nice and easy. MVL getting 100,000 for second place. I think they had Levon Aronian in third for, I think it was like 60,000 or something. And fourth, I think, was it Faruja with 40,000. Anyways, not bad. Not bad. 3.5 minutes for Mihail over Roman's minute and a half. Let's take a look at the lower boards here. We've got Texas Tech team captain Bogdan Bilavil, international master, on board 3, 2.5 minutes. Isak also at 2.5 minutes, defending the queen with the knight. Isak can trade queens. What else can they do? They're going to keep thinking. Yeah, not a lot of pressure on these Mizzou players here. But they're all looking pretty good, honestly. To be qualified to play in the Collegiate Chess League, players must be fully enrolled students. They must be full-time. Now, that might vary between schools, but also we do allow exceptions. For example, if you are in your last semester and you are on pace to graduate, you can be a part-time student. Same with like being in your last year, basically. As long as you're on pace to graduate, you're allowed to play. All right, let's look at the fourth board, the lowest board we haven't looked at yet so far. We've got Nathaniel Philip Moore against Luka Budisavljevic. And looks like Luka's up a lot of time as well, over 2 minutes. Luka not castled and is down in exchange. Or sorry, up in exchange. Nathaniel has the bishop pair, though, so there are trade-offs, it seems. Okay, what's up with like bishop here, though? Why not play bishop? Bishop g4 looked good to me. King g2 it likes as well. Pawn push instead. Pawn push. Wow, computer says f6. That's filthy. f6 is a filthy move. And Nathaniel has less than a minute, and Luka has over 3 minutes. So they love their blitz speed, this Mizzou squad. Speaking of being up on time, Aryan Tari up over 2 minutes. 2:24 to 20 seconds from Sebastian, and White is just dominating this game. Aryan gets the winning match point for Mizzou. So he finishes today 3 out of 4, winning the match for Mizzou. So congratulations to Mizzou. A perfect start to the season so far, 2 out of 2. And yeah, we've got 3 games remaining. So Aryan, he gets to finish first, but we'll be having him on for an interview after the match. All right, let's watch how his teammates finish this out. So, oh my God, you guys, what did we what? Oh, he found f6. Nathaniel. Oh my word. He's done it. He's broken through. Now can he find the next winning move? Queen to g5. No, he misses it. And he allows queen takes f7. He needed to keep up the heat. Well, queen takes is not even easy either. Although maybe it is, because the queen gets here. So what else can black do? There's rook c5 or rook g6 check. Man, you could be so good and yet miss by that much. Nathaniel, 5 seconds on the clock to 2.5 minutes from Luca. That's so much time for Luca to find the best moves if he can. And yeah, this game was looking pretty good for Isig. And then something happened. Well, it still looks good. Both players are less than a minute. And yeah, Mihail's still looking good against Roman. Well, I don't know if he always was, but yeah, white snagging some pawns, it seems. Knight here, and the computer says it's about equal, but both sides less than 20 seconds. I think I have to keep an eye on this bottom board match. Well, unless Luca thinks for so long. So they must have traded queens. So he gives up the exchange here. But he grabs the pawn, and it's up a pawn for white, but fairly equal. Uh-oh. Mihail blundered. Here, rook here, double question mark. Rook over. Bishop hits the rook. Mihail, he's dropping this pawn, right? Would you not take? Still not? No, he takes it now. Fork. Rook takes. King is entering the equation. 10 seconds or less for both sides. Rook comes back around. The king gets over. Ooh, he's trying to give up this pawn to get this rook. He's attacking this. Oh no, bishop here. Wait, but the king's running. Hold on. What was the move here? Bishop d3 check. Oh, it's a fork. He missed the fork on the king and the rook. Rook takes, rook back. Rook over. But hold on, is there a bishop check? No, I guess the king comes up here. Oh my goodness, f3. Locks the bishop out. That's one check. Now the rook is hit. This pawn is hit, but we can play rook e2 check. We could have forced the rooks off the board. This is completely winning for white. Rook up, hits the pawn. Trade the pawns. Hits the rook. Check. Check. Force the king back. Guarding against these checks. Now pushing this pawn. That's a check. That's another check. Push. 7, 6, 5 seconds. Bishop O. So 2-pawn advantage. A 2-pawn advantage for white. But also big advantage for the king positioning. Here, there's another check. Oh, he's going to give that up for the fork. Very nice. But maybe, yeah, the bishop was hanging. All three games are still going. E6 and Bogdan both less than 5 seconds. But E6 winning this by a lot. Nathaniel Phillimore, 1 second move. 2.5 seconds here. His king on the back rank. Luca has an extra pawn. White's behind it. Oh my god. Just absolute chaos on every board. No one has more than well, Luca's got so much time left. Okay. Mahale won. So yeah, White was able to finally push their pawns home. And Queen? E6. Was there a draw? Wow, it's a bishop versus two pawns, but this was a losing move. Not had to play king here or something. And yeah, this is gonna be smooth sailing for e6. So Mahale wins, e6 wins. They're all getting 3 out of 4. And now Luca looks to be in trouble, man. Luca had so much time. I mean, what a game from Nathaniel. So up a pawn for Luca. Drops a pawn there, but trades the pawn. Oh, he just gave up a rook? Are you serious, Luca? Holy smoke. No way, dude. He just gave up a whole rook just like that. That's incredible. All right, and now yeah, now the bishop's coming in to win the pawn, so the check, maybe hoping the king would allow the promotion. Um, but yeah, just gotta get this last knight off the board, and yeah, just don't lose your rook, really. Bring the king in, yeah. Luca's still fighting on, hoping for a draw or a stalemate or something. I mean, the knight's a tricky piece. You can maybe fork something. You could fork the, who knows, the rook? I don't know. Anyways, good progress here. Just inching the king towards the back rank. And again, these points matter. Mizzou wants to get as many points as possible. King here is a great move because we're threatening mate in 1, which is very difficult to stop. King here, and that's a fork. Not only is it a fork, but you're getting mate. Very, very nice there from Nathaniel Philip Moore, who did not end just because they were losing. And they get their first point on the board for the match. So final score 11-5. Honestly, Luca just blundered a rook and won. That's crazy. Rook h1 check. Yeah, that's kind of why you play on. Those are the miracles you hope for. Beautiful stuff there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, stick around for a moment. I'll be right back. We have Ariantari who will be joining us. So 1 second, you guys. Hey, we're back with Ariantari, the board 1 from Mizzou. You went 3 out of 4, leading your team to an 11-5 win against Texas Tech. You guys are perfect 2 out of 2 so far to start this season. How are you feeling, Arian?
I feel good. It's been playing, I think, pretty decent chess overall. However, I've lost my mind in game 2. I was pushing for the win, and then I made this inexplainable decision to push my pawn to g5. I could just like go up with the king and had a winning position. So I played a bit too hasty there. Yeah, that happens. Besides that, it's been good, I think.
Yeah, game two was definitely a bit questionable, and round three actually I think was at times a little shaky as well. It seemed like it was a
Yeah,
fortress, but you were able to break through with the queen at the end.
that was a bit of a roller coaster for sure. Went up and down. I mean, anything could happen. But my pawns were faster, and then he set up a fortress. It was a classical blitz game, so it was very exciting. I thought it was going to be a draw because it was very hard for me to make progress. I think he had like his for 2030 moves. It's like getting close to 50 moves, and then I found some kind of Zugzwang.
Yeah, you separated his king
Yeah, it's always
from the
hard to
pawns.
assess these endgames.
I think you had a move before you queened, or your
Yeah,
second queen.
yeah,
You
but
could have played
I
queens.
don't think he had to allow it. So
Yeah, well, it's why you always play on, and time pressure can make a fool of us all. And that was really, really hard fought, and you earned that win there. But it seems like you are at a hotel right now. Are you traveling?
yeah, I'm in Dallas right now for the US versus India match actually. So that starts in it starts at 7:30, but there is a fan zone at 5 p.m. A bit over in a bit of a over 1 hour. So I'll be there. So many spectators and a lot of fans here in Dallas to watch the big match tonight.
And I think you had two other teammates that are also traveling right now. I think two of them are in Georgia. Is that right?
Yeah, they're in Georgia, Batumi for the European Team Championship. Very big event every 2 years in Europe. Unfortunately, Norway is not participating, but I wish I could be there. But it's a very prestigious event.
Well, I'm sure you'll probably be back there at some point. But right now, it seems like you're doing great things for the Mizzou team, who are relying on you guys. I think you guys got second place last year, if I'm not mistaken. After your inaugural season, you won the championship. Now you're back in your second year. Do you think that you guys are the favorite to win? Have you looked at the other teams' rosters?
Well, St. Louis always has a good team, and I believe Webster has Evander Leung, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, it's definitely some good teams. Not going to be easy. So we got second place in the last spring, and then we won in the fall. So yeah, it's looking good so far. So hope we can keep it up.
Yeah, you guys are in the lead as well on tie breaks, which is great. But yeah, Webster's not playing in the Collegiate Chess League, so that should be good news for you guys. Although Texas Tech
Oh,
did
okay.
join, so we have
That's
yeah five
makes it
out of
easier for sure.
six. Yeah, but of course you also have Pan Am's coming up in January, which I'm sure you guys are all keeping an eye out for. So you will be playing against Webster at least then, assuming you get paired. Um, but yeah, I wanted to congratulate you on your win, of course. And would you say that SLU is your main rival? Or are you looking forward to that match the most?
Yeah, it's definitely been like that the last two semesters. So SLU is always strong and very close match there. So we'll see how that goes. But of course, we have to win the other matches to get there.
Yeah, well, you'll play against them in week 7, so the last round of the regular season. Do you think you'll have a perfect sweep before you meet them, or do you think there's going to be some other tough matches ahead?
I mean, we are favorites in every match, so I mean, it would be we would have to do something stupid in order to not win in general. But you never know, of course.
Yeah, do you feel like that's added pressure, or do you like that sort of pressure, the expectation to win every time?
Not too much pressure. It's just like we if we play at our normal level, if the we should always win. But of course, against St. Louis, it will be closer. Because there's many games, so even if you like mess up a bit, you can come back It's not only like you have four games.
True. Well, I know you have your head coach supporting you guys, Christian Corella, who I've been watching commentate for the Grand Chess Tour. I know he's a busy guy. I'm sure he's also tuning in and watching. Do you feel like a team captain? Do you feel like you help out with just like managing the team at all, or does Christian do most of that work? Does he do a good job?
Christian does a great job. Takes care of the team in a good way, and also Grigori Oparin is the assistant coach, a very strong grandmaster. We're lucky to have him.
Yeah.
So yeah, the team definitely has a good support system, and yeah, Christian is a great guy.
I didn't know Oparin was the assistant, but I know he was the former board one at Mizzou. So I feel like after him, it was Antipov, who I know is an assistant now at UT Dallas, and you're now the board one. So there's like a very strong line of board ones at Mizzou. They're all going off to do great things. Do you feel like maybe being a future coach or coach at a school would be something that you're interested, or do you think you'll go off to do something else?
That could definitely be interesting. I can see myself doing something like that. And we'll see what opportunities will be present, I guess. Take it as the time goes, but I'm open to different things.
Are you graduating after this year, or do you have more time at Mizzou?
No, I was late to university. I was a professional chess player. After high school, I only played chess for 6 years, so it's traveling the world and playing prestigious events. But yeah, I felt like maybe there's more to life than only chess, and decided to try out something new, which
I,
difficult to adjust at first. But I think overall, happy to get a new experience and move somewhere else, like getting a bit out of the comfort zone.
okay. And how's the U.S. college experience so far? Are you liking it at Mizzou? Are you going to any of the sports games?
It's okay. It's pros and cons. Colombia is not the most exciting place in the world, I would say, but the environment is kind of good. Like we're good friends in the chess team, and we yeah, I went to the football game last. Sorry, the room service is coming.
You're
It
good.
is just in 10 minutes. Uh, yeah, so it's social. It's social, but yeah, so I'm generally liking it.
That's great. Yeah. Well, I don't want to keep you too long, so I appreciate your time and congratulations again on the match win against Texas Tech, one of your rivals. And we're looking forward to seeing how you guys do the rest of the season. As you mentioned, the favorites to win, but of course, you got to get through a lot of tough teams. So we'll see how things end up later on this season. So good luck, and we're very excited to keep
Thanks. It
following
should be
you.
it should be exciting. Yeah.
All right. Thank
Yeah.
you, Arian.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Have a good one.
Thanks. I'll see you. See you.
All right. Well, that was the board one from Mizzou. Arjen Tari, Grandmaster from Norway, winning his games 3 out of 4, only losing in round 2 against Texas Tech. So overall, winning the match by an impressive 11-5, which is actually a half point more than SLU beat Texas Tech last week. So all signs pointing to Mizzou being the stronger team. They are the higher rated team. They are the #1 seed. But SLU, they're still the defending champions. They're going to try their best to hold on to their championship title. And we will see those two teams play in week 7, the final week of the regular season. But this has been week 2, so we've got quite a ways to go before then. We will see you guys back next week. So thank you all for being here, tuning in, and watching. And I hope to see you all next week. So thanks, and we'll head out. I'll send you all off on a raid, so stick around for that. And yeah, just thanks again. Take care, guys.
and one of them played today.
Yep, and the other one went to eat.
Yeah, the other one was here in spirit. Your spirit helped us win, Corey.
Let's go.
Yeah, and we were looking at my silly little mistakes.
1 second! I literally, we were suffering for 10 minutes for this 1 second. How should I have do this? What's this? Is this
Win, and I have nothing.
Yeah, it's just hard.
I tried to open up something, but it didn't work. And they took, and I thought maybe this would